Happy New Year and welcome to Angel's Haven. So, it's raining, and it has been raining since about 7 p.m. last evening, although it rained off and on all day yesterday. So, as you can see, laundry is happening. I think I actually washed those before I went to Kansas City, and they now need to be put away. But I had intended to work outside today, and that's not happening. So instead, I'm going to clean house today and organize. Somewhere in my underbed storage area, there is a tripod that I wanted to use, but I haven't gotten up there to get it. So instead, you're sitting on a shelf in the kitchen, which is why you could see the laundry area. And my house has gotten really cluttered, which is a big problem with tiny spaces. If you've ever lived in a studio apartment, it's pretty much like that. Same concept. So I want to take care of the little piles of clutter that accumulated in the week before I went to Missouri for Christmas. And then if you watched my sitting room videos, any of them, I've rearranged that sitting room 1,000 times. It's pretty comfortable, but when we did the upstairs bedroom last, when we rearranged it to give me more space up there and eliminated half of the underbed storage, that stuff came downstairs to be sorted, and I couldn't get it all done because I had a couple of big functions that I was managing. And then the holidays came upon us. So I put the rest of it in storage containers, like a basket, a box, and they're under the furniture in my sitting room, making it look really cramped and cluttered. It's also dark in there, unless you have the overhead light on. The lamps are nice, but in my view, they're not enough light, although not everybody agrees with me. I like a lot of light. The windows in there are small, and one faces west and one faces east, which is not optimal for a natural light. So even though I like the layout, I have to first finish that decluttering from the underbed storage situation, and then once I get that done, I'll be able to stand back and take a look at it. I have a little accumulated pile of papers on my desk, and then various clutter here and there. So I'm going to disgrace myself by doing a little video about what it looks like now. And I'm going to give it to you au naturel. Breakfast dishes have not been done. It's New Year's Day, by the way. Happy 2026. Breakfast dishes have to be done. I still haven't put my suitcase away from Christmas. It is empty, but it's been raining since I got home, which means, and I worked all day Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And that means I haven't been able to get to the back cupboard between the rain and the fact that I'm gone until after dark. So that was one thing I wanted to do outside today, was get in the back cupboard and put my suitcase away. I don't want to be struggling out in the rain while I do that. But anyway, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I also acquired a couple of new pieces of art in Kansas City, which are cattywampus hanging on the stairway. And my art has kind of, I love my tree wall, but it's a little lopsided in terms of the shapes and sizes. So anyway, I'm going to do a quick little clip. I am not one of those people that knows a lot about video editing. And although I'd love to be a video editor when I grow up, I don't see that happening. So all I can do is clips and then splice them together. And I know it's not really splicing, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to show you what it looks like now, as usual. And then once in a while, I'll do a little clip if I amuse myself over something. And then I'll show you the transformation. Just to update you on the generator situation, the generator box that I paid an enormous amount of money to have built has to be modified because it was not properly built. Ask me about that story sometime when I've had a glass of wine and I'm not feeling angry about it as I am now, so I had to release that anger. But it was not built to specifications, and so Michelle Burke is modifying it to the specifications. And so I'm hoping to get a little bit of footage of that modification. That was supposed to happen this weekend. It's supposed to rain all weekend. So it probably won't happen. The transfer switch is installed. The cord is installed. I think cord is the right word. It's really exciting. If you didn't see my little note, I think it might be called a post with a picture of Michelle Burke holding the transfer switch box and the cord. Find that because it's pretty cool. So hopefully I'll get a film of that and do something with that. And I hired somebody to come clean leaves up while I was out of town. And for reasons I don't really understand, the person only did half of the job, and the easy half at that. So maybe we'll say a third of the job. And I reached out to them when I got back, and they were supposed to come today to finish it. And of course, it's raining. So that won't happen. I'm deeply regretting putting my little wood desk outside on the porch without waterproofing it because it's now essentially ruined. Last year I had it out there and I covered it before the rain, so it was fine. And this year life was just too challenging, so I didn't get it covered, and it's pretty much ruined. I'm sad about that. But at any rate, that porch project, cleaning it and getting all the leaves off, will obviously not happen today. So I'm going to clean house and let you know how it goes. So I'm going to give you a quick clip of what it looks like now. And I look awful because who cleans up before cleaning house? Not me. I'll clean up later. And in the outro, you'll see me with my hair combed, my face washed, and something other than a wool t-shirt on. Talk to you later. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and tell you about the things that need to be changed. And mostly today is about cleaning and finishing that decluttering. But I want to continue to make the tiny space as comfortable but attractive as reasonably possible. So, I don't know if you have seen, I can't remember. So Michelle Burke gave me this little spice cabinet, and when I had an RV stove here, you see behind there, right there, there are spice jar holders on the wall. My son gave me those. But they didn't really work once I got rid of the stove. I mean, they worked, but they weren't as handy because I mainly use them now over here. When I got rid of the RV stove, I really loved the burner, and I could have gotten an inset stovetop that was the exact one that the RV stove had, but it only came in 3-burner, and it would have taken up too much counter space. This propane burner set is actually designed to be parallel to the counter, but I wanted the knobs on the front, and I wanted to be able to have more counter space because of having it perpendicular. So that's why we chose this one, because it was able to do that. So when Michelle gave me that spice rack, I forget what was here, the bread box, which I really like, but which I tried to put on the counter, but it was too deep, or took up too much counter space. So I got this metal rack on, gosh, I think I got it on Amazon, to be honest with you, and I like it. Basket has potatoes. Doesn't everybody use 2 kinds of salt? Gray Himalaya, pink Himalaya, and my pepper grinder in the middle. Those are actually pepper grinders, but I use them for salt grinding. I have to clean my stove out. This is a Breville Smart Oven, which I use for high intense cooking, like making toast and roasting portobello mushrooms. I also bake potatoes in it. I really don't do much oven cooking. So anyway, but I need to clean it out. This is a vintage coffee pot. I can't remember if it's Danish or Swedish, but what it says is coffee is the best drink. I have to look it up again. It's either Danish or Swedish. And right now it's filled with packets of Earl Grey tea. So the point is, I got distracted. I'm sure if I had been born 30 years later, I would have been diagnosed with ADHD because I'm easily distracted. So I want to take those off the wall carefully. Now, I had someone put them up for me when I first moved here, and for reasons I don't understand, he glued them to the wall instead of just screwing them. Let me see if I can close up. There they are. So they should have just been screwed, but they're not. They're glued. So I have to get like denatured alcohol or something. I don't know. Michelle Burke will probably do it. So the reason I need to get those off the wall is because the cabinet, I can't push the cabinet all the way back to the wall with those there, the spice cabinet or spice rack, whatever you call that. And I feel like I might bump it and knock it. So that's something I'm going to do in the near future, very small. So anyway, let me continue around. So this little corner needs to be cleaned and a little bit of attention. Pay no attention to the breakfast dishes. One of the immediate problems I'm going to have to solve. I'm trying to sit down without falling. Is my recycle bin outside, which is a perfect shape and size for being right next to my door, doesn't have a lid, and so when it rains, all the recycling gets soggy and wet. So I'm collecting some recycling on the counter so I can think about that problem. So there's what the room looks like, or the house looks like. You see, hanging on the stair, kind of cattywampus, a new piece of art by Ruthie Becker, which I have to find a place for. One problem I want to solve this year, there's my new Doc Martens, which I took off last night, exhausted, and didn't put away. But one problem I want to solve, you see this 3-drawer cabinet. I really like that cabinet, but it is about 6 inches more shallow than that, the cubby in which it is sitting, which means I'm losing quite a bit of storage space. And you do the math. So I'm losing 6 inches of depth on 32 inches of height. So I don't know how you do cubic computation. Oh, you need the width too. The width is 21 inches. Now, so you do the math. I don't do public math, but if you are a mathematician, you can figure out how much space I'm losing. Now, next to that 3-door cabinet, so this chair right here, this wooden chair, which I love, pardon my sweatshirt on the back of it, it's cold in here. That chair folds perfectly flat, and it has a companion which obviously also folds perfectly flat, and that companion is tucked in alongside of this 3-drawer cabinet, and it's perfect for pulling out when someone needs a chair. So I don't necessarily want to have drawers built, but I would like to figure out how to get more storage. As you can see, I have a sweatshirt hanging on a hook, less than optimal. So clothing storage is always a problem here. I just don't have enough. And anytime I acquire something, quote unquote, new, always secondhand, but new to me, I have to get rid of something because I just have so little space. I have 21 inches of hanging space and those 3 drawers. And then in the cedar chest that I was gifted this year, I have my flip season clothing. So at any given time, that's it for clothing storage. I don't know what I was thinking when I planned it. I have a little mess of year-end paperwork right here on my desk that I have to mostly shred and throw away. And then you can see I don't have any lights on in the storage, in the sitting room, but there's a basket under a chair, there's a basket under the footstool, and then there's a box just randomly sitting on the floor and a basket under Tim Anderson's green chair, gold chair. What kind of gold, I guess. So I have 4 rather, containers, if you will, of things that came from under the bed upstairs that I still have to sort. I still have to sort through them, get rid of as much as possible, and figure out what to do with the rest. Over here, and I have to see the blue painting. That is not a reflection of a light. That's a moon with winter trees in front of it, which was done by my cohort, Anna Leontine Ortiz, and I love it, and it goes with my tree theme, but I think it's too big in that space. I really think, to be honest with you, as much as I love gallery walls, I think that particular piece, more than anything, needs white space around it. Of course, I have no white space, but you know what I mean, empty space. All my space is wood. And so I have to decide how to display that, because I don't think, first of all, it's too long for where it is. And second of all, I don't think it looks its best there, even though thematically it goes with that space. So I have to deal with that small artistic issue. Over here in the dining area, so to speak, here's my issue with this. The beautiful cherry table that Sheldon built extends out over the steps. And so when I come downstairs, now that that's my bedroom, it's been my bedroom for a year, but it's hard to get down the stairs because there's no turnaround. There's no turn on the stairs. I know there's an architectural word for that turn, but I can't think what it is. Anyway, so in order to be able to do that, I would have to put the table up every night. And as you can see, I never put everything away that's on the table. So that's an issue. And the other issue is, although I like the chair and it's comfortable, I'm kind of weird in that I don't really like sitting with my back to the room. And I've been doing that for 7 years, and I've not really liked it for 7 years. And there is a beautiful drop-down bench on the wall. I don't think it's dropped down right now, so you can't quite see it. But I can't really, and I would love to sit there on a regular basis, but to get behind that table, I have to stand on the steps and sort of scooch in, and it doesn't work for me. I mean, it works, obviously. It's definitely in the nature of a first world problem, but it's inconvenient and awkward. So I have to, if anybody has any thoughts about that, let me know. Another issue I want to solve today, I put this basket on the wall because that is the only plug over there, and in that mess of wires, which has to be detangled, there is a charger, like a big battery pack charger, to charge my computer when we have power outage, which is very frequent. First of all, I never detangle those wires. I always just shove them in there. And they're not wires. They're phone charger cables, as it were. I need to figure out a better solution for that. I don't know what I'll do. I really like my new curtains, the way they look. I don't like the fabric because it's polyester, but they're print. And honestly, this is one of those what I thought I was getting, what I got situations. I should have known how cheap they were, that they were not as wonderful as the picture of them. I thought they were embroidered, and I've been wrong before about things I bought on Amazon, but they're not embroidered, they're just printed. They're not even woven. Like the pattern is not woven into the fabric, it's just printed. And so they're cheaply made, but I like them. I like the way they look. I just don't like their cheapness. But I got 4 of them, and I put 3 in the big window and 1 in the closet. And I like them better than than the turquoise curtains that I'd had the whole 7 years that had the big silver grommets, which I thought were awful. I do need new curtain rods, cheap curtain rods there and on the cupboard, and they're bent because they're not, I don't know, the cupboard is my fault in a way because I tend to hang things on it, like on a hanger on it, like before I put them in the closet, and it's just bent. The one up there is probably bent because the middle bracket is not strong enough. Or maybe there is no middle bracket. But at any rate, that's what I'm working on today. Piles of clutter, little small problems that induce piles of clutter, and making my home comfortable again. What are you doing today? More later. So the sound you hear is the rain, and the sight you see is me outing myself that I never clean the backsplash. I've had this countertop inset burner stove since 21 maybe, and as you can see, I cook a lot on the back burner, and as a consequence, this is grease, oil. So I'm outing myself. I do have an exhaust fan there, which Gary Jenkins put in when he put the burner here. I did not have a hood. Obviously, the stove was here where this shelving thing is, bookshelf, and there was no hood. And Gary said you can't have propane burners without some kind of exhaust. He's probably right. So he put that in-wall exhaust. Somebody broke that a while ago. Another story that would require alcohol intake to describe. But I've since learned that they've remade this exhaust. They don't make this model anymore. As you can see, it has a chain pull. And the new model, which I think will inset in the same space, has an actual switch. So one thing I want to do this year is replace that with its newer model. It will be a little quieter and much easier to use. In the meantime, what I'm doing today is cleaning and organizing, so that grease patch will be gone. I'm going to use my favorite bathroom cleaner, OxiClean, and I'm going to get all that grease off and this mess. One of the downfalls of having a tiny space is that if you don't keep it perfectly clean at all times, it can go downhill fast, and it's not like you have another 6 inches of counter or 2 feet of counter somewhere. You need to keep everything really clean. That's probably a good idea anyway, but this is pretty disgusting, and I'm filming it to out myself. I am Corinne, and I am a backsplash greaser. But here we go. So much better. My sister and I have a saying: if a task overwhelms you, tackle it 6 inches at a time. Well, I don't have a lot of time, but I got this 6 inches done fairly well. So we interrupt this kitchen cleaning to show you that the gentleman came back and finished the porch in the rain. I'm so excited. So you see all those pin oak leaves? The entire area, steps, walkway, porch, and deck were completely covered with pin oak tree leaves from those trees. I mean, it was like 4 inches thick. And when I was gone over Christmas, he was supposed to do the whole thing, and it was a communication error. I said deck. I said walkway and deck, and he interpreted that to mean that area and this area. He thought I was just like storing stuff and wasn't ready to have the whole thing cleaned. And as soon as I explained, he was like, oh, totally misunderstood. He came back in the rain and did it. And I'm so happy. I couldn't be more ecstatic. So next up is the pile of mail and bric-a-brac. It's not bric-a-brac, it's a nice wallet that someone gifted me for Christmas. Thank you, Greta. But the pile of things that have accumulated on my desk in the last couple of weeks, and that's what I'm working on now. So since you don't really need to watch that process, I thought I would talk a little bit about plans for 2026, tiny house plans, and personal plans. I have a bag next to me which is for things that can be recycled. and the trash can is a foot away in the cupboard under the sink. I don't have any idea what this is. Oh, it was an invitation, but I went. It was a great time, party at the park, but I don't need it. I bought this in, what town? Maybe Pacifica, maybe Montara. Haven't gotten it on my car yet, but I do intend to, so I'll keep it. But at any rate, I'm not going to go through each item, but I do want to talk about what's in store for 2026. And then the last bit of this video will be hopefully the finished clean house. Since I last filmed 2 seconds ago, the load of laundry I was doing about pajamas to wear on the plane, because the Secretary of Transportation said don't wear pajamas on the plane. So I bought brand new pajamas, that's the tag, and I wore them on the plane. Softest pajamas I've ever owned, 100% cotton. But anyway, plans for 2026. For the tiny house, so you've heard about the generator box. So let me explain just in 2 seconds, because I think I talked about that in the last video. We've been installing a transfer switch. That was what we've been trying to do. I bought that generator 4 years ago this month, January 2022. It was the second generator I bought, like within a week. I bought one, it didn't work for my house. I sold it to a neighbor for what I paid for it. Bought another one that did work for my house. And the problem was I can't unplug it because my hands are not strong to transfer it from shore power to generator power. Transfer switch has been a long time coming, but it's almost finished being housed and properly cabled, etc. Turns out the concrete pad on which the generator has been sitting for 4 years, it's actually, I thought it was just a random concrete pad, but it's actually part of sewer access. So we were going to anchor the box, but we'll leave it unanchored so it can be flipped if they need to access that sewer. They don't have to often access it because I have a composting toilet. It's the tie-in between my lot and the next lot, and I have a composting toilet, and the next lot is has for a while been kind of a rotating lot, like in and outs, not in and outs, but like 6-month tenants, and so it hasn't been as important because usually that's a van or something that's not using sewer tie-in. But they still need to access it, so we'll leave that box unanchored in case they need to lift it to get to that sewer clean out. So that's almost done. The porch project will wait till spring, and that's going to be, new furniture, that type of thing. Mostly just a couple of small. I want to do so we put that trellis up in fall of 25 last year, and I want to do a flower box along that wall. John Kurtz, if you're looking, I don't use these. You might want to take me off your mailing list. They're very lovely. John Kurtz, if you don't know, is an amazing attorney in Kansas City, Hubbard and Kurtz. Every year they send out pocket calendars. I don't use them. I used to give them to a friend whose mother had dementia and liked having a little book for some reason. But she passed away. I might ask Michelle if she wants it. And I probably ought to tell John, take me off your mailing list. But I love getting his cards. But anyway, so the porch project will wait till spring. The continuation of the porch project will wait till spring. Merry Christmas, John Kurtz. And unfortunately, you're going in the recycle. But, so that's the spring. Let's see if I can show you the window. So see that window up there? That window does not open. It's, it didn't need to open when I wasn't using the loft up there for anything, for an unused envelope. Why do I have an unused envelope? When I wasn't sleeping up there, but when I moved up there to sleep, you really need to have, you really need to be able to drop down a fire ladder if there's a fire on the first floor. I have a fire ladder. I bought it when I moved up there thinking that I could use the windows that are up there, but they only open a third, so they're slider windows, and they're rectangular, and they only open a third, and it's not wide enough to drop a ladder out. It's not even wide enough to get out. So that window there is actually bigger than the two windows that are in the main part of the loft. I think it might be the same size, but at any rate, it doesn't open. So I would like to solve this problem of safety by having a new window put in there. So I'm going to do that this year. That's on tap for 2026. Also, I'm going to turn this a little. So there's my closet, my 21 inches of hanging space with a sweatshirt hanging on it. I had this belief that I would like it better if there were a door on that. So I'm going to, why do I have a parking ticket from Fort Mason from August 16th? Was I at Fort Mason? Where is Fort Mason? I have no idea. Do I need this? Probably not. So in the recycle it goes. Anyway, I have this idea for, so the closet opening is 21 by 30s, 46. Yeah, 46. What's 4 feet? 48. So it's 46. So I have this idea that I could do sort of a barn door thing across it so that I don't have any swing access. And so that, I don't think that would be complicated, says the girl who has no skills and no tools. I have something that says important notification, time sensitive. I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to open it and see what it is. So some sort of wooden door for that hanging space. That's probably overkill. You know how you can rehab a home out of its market? You can do that with a tiny house. And if I ever thought I would sell this tiny house, I probably would be thinking about, okay, what will the return on these investments be. But I don't plan to do that. I plan to live in this. Oh, Medicare annual enrollment ends on December 7th. Oh, it's an ad from United Healthcare. I don't have United Healthcare. I have Blue Shield, I think it's called. So anyway, I plan to live in this house till I die, either here at Park Delta Bay or somewhere else if that's what it ends up being. So improvements that I make will benefit me. And I think having a wooden door, for one thing, I wouldn't be constantly bending the curtain rack. But I think having a wooden door would be nice, and it would look less messy. So that's on tap for 2026. Benefits summary. Oh, more advertisements. Don't need that. Member notifications. Signature required. Probably don't need that. United States of America. I have no idea what this is. Oh, look. Free address labels. So this is probably from some charity. But they don't have my box number on them. So if I use these return address labels, free return address labels, it wouldn't go back to my box. When I first moved to Park Delta Bay, we did not have private boxes. There was a cardboard thing in the office. I don't want these. There was a cardboard thing in the office, and all your mail got sorted by the wonderful manager at the time, who was named Kim, and it was open, like, to the public, which is why I got a P.O. box, because at the time I still had to open law cases back home, and I couldn't have confidential mail going to that open slotted thing. Somewhere in at some point in the first couple of years I was here, I can't remember when, to be honest with you, the park convinced the post office to give us a big bank of postal boxes. My house is parked in lot G8, and you would think my postal box would be G8, but no. And you would think if it was going to be anything, it would say box whatever, but no. So the designation is SPC, and I'm 110. And so it's space, I guess, 110, but I'm not in space 110. I'm in space G8. So people get really confused. My sister said once, your entire address is basically a lie, which it is. I think I've mentioned that. I don't live on Brandon Island. I live on Anderson Island. I'm not in space 110. I'm in space G8. So, and I don't live in Isleton. So it's all a lie. But anyway, be that as it might. So, finish the generator setup, new window. What I want is one of those windows that opens out and has a screen on it, but that screen needs to pop out in case I have to drop the ladder down. And I thought about this the other day. To be honest with you, I'm not precisely sure where that ladder is. It's up there somewhere under the bed. So I'm going to show you when we under the bed. The middle row of paintings is on a board that lifts off, and that way I can get under the bed if I need to. So I'm pretty sure that ladder is right there. I've never opened it. So, window, what's our next project? Window, door for the hanging cupboard. Under the refrigerator, there are two pull-out shelves, and I've stressed out about those. I had those made really early, like 6 years ago. By the way, in case you were wondering, on December 23rd, 2025, that was I think 23rd, maybe 18th, something like that. December 18th, let me think about it. 18th or 19th, right? A week before Christmas. 2017, I moved here. For the first year, I was here part-time because I was going back and forth to Kansas City closing out cases. I would be a couple weeks here or a couple weeks in Kansas City, staying with my friend Jeannie Foster, and my office was set up with Tricia Scaglia. I rented a room or borrowed a room. She would never let me pay her. From both, neither of them ever let me pay them for use of their home or office. And then at the end of 2018, I had finished or found new counsel for all of my law cases. So if you don't count 2018, since I was only here part-time, from December of 2018 till now, that's 7 years, right? Yeah. And so I've been here 8 years. The first year part-time, and then full-time for the last 7 years. So, there you go. 8 years. That's a long time. And I'm almost through this stack that was on my table. Most of this stuff is going in the recycle. In fact, all of the rest of it. These are all old inventories from the shop. We're doing new inventories next week. And I'm pretty excited about that. Sure this one has been, yeah. So, this card says, thank you. When we first opened the shop, I had a bunch of these thank you cards, which I put in every purchase. I originally got them to send out with my book as I mailed out copies of it. And I had some left. So, writing news. Let me add writing news. So I had breakfast with Will Leatham. Will Leatham owns Prospero's Bookstore in Kansas City, the best bookstore in Kansas City, bar none. He also owns or co-owns, I guess he co-owns Prospero's with Tom, whose last name my brain can't pull out right now. Gosh, Tom, I'm so sorry, I can't think of your last name right now. Tom Wayne. I knew I'd think of it. Will Leatham co-owns Prospero's Books and is the owner, I guess, I'm not sure that's the right terminology, of Write the Future, an imprint of Spartan Press, which published my book in 2022. And I need to do some edits to it before I'm out of copies of it. And he actually is also out of copies of it, apparently. But it needs some editing. I found typos. He found typos. It says trademark on the Missouri, TM on the Missouri Mugwump, which I have since registered. Oh, the registration has been approved. Sorry about ducking below. So that needs to be changed. So we're going to work on that. he's learning how to do ebooks. There is a PDF of it on Lulu.com, which I had to have in order to get my trademark registered in that category of ebooks. And so we're working on that, new print copies and a true ebook. For those of you who don't know, I wrote a novel about 20 years ago, which is kind of an odd novel. And I lost it for 20 years, and I found it recently, and a hard copy of it, which I scanned and have spent several months editing. And I had been thinking of trying to find a traditional publisher, which means finding an agent. And then I thought, well, I'm just going to talk to Will and see what he thinks. So I sent it to Will. It's in his hands now to read. It's a very strange book, which is fine, but what I'm really concerned about is whether or not it's a well-written book. If it's well-written, even though it's strange, it can stand. So stay tuned for that. My favorite candy. Sugar-free. It's actually not my favorite candy. It's candy I like. Somebody gave me a bag of this for Christmas. A broken hair thing. The spring to it, it's not really, oh, I guess it is broken. Okay, it's trash. Broken. I thought it was just popped off, but now that I look at it, I think it's actually broken. I really like metal hair clips. I did this my own self, but it's going to the trash. The spring is on the floor somewhere, but I thought it was just a question of putting the spring back in, but now I see it's broken. So it's going in the trash, and what I have left is $1. I don't know why. A pack of Werther's Original, and a few Christmas cards that I have to decide if I want to keep or not. Just so you know, if you want a Christmas card from me, you have to send me a Christmas card. In the old days, when I lived in a traditional house and had more storage space, I would have packs of Christmas cards, send them all out in early December or early January. But now, since I've lived tiny, my method of handling Christmas cards is when I get one, I send one to the person that sent me one. So if you want a Christmas card, or a birthday card, or an Easter card, or anything like that, send me one. So I have a few. I've gotten about 4 or 5. I'm going to put these in my stationery drawer for now, because I really, the main reason is I need to take the addresses off the envelopes. And I bought a piece of art from the MoMA, Missouri organization, I don't know what it stands for, the MoMA in St. Charles. I bought a piece of art. I'll try to insert a picture of it or show it to you when I do the final pass. So now this part of the video is 25 minutes long and way too long. The desk is clean. I'll show you. I'm fat, I know. Not really fat. So there it is, the Werther's and the label from my artwork and the dollar bill, which will go in my wallet, and a bag full of recycle. So now that that's done, and I've filmed 25 more minutes of useless babbling, there's the picture. Let me see if I can get a close-up. Nope, too close. There it is. I bought that at the Missouri Artist, whatever it is, in St. Charles. Not my normal type of artwork, but I love it. It's a giclée print embellished. Giclée print of an original by the artist in question, and she embellished it. Not at all like my typical art, but you do notice it has trees in the background. And the artist is G.S. Hoffman. I don't know what that stands for. And I really like it, which is very weird. But for me, to like something that traditional. Anyway, I'm going to stop now and do the rest of the cleaning and do a little tour when it's done, or at least when it's presentable. Sorry about that. And I might have to edit a lot of this out, but there you go. More later. So just to illustrate why I was so excited that James came to finish the porch, these are pin oak leaves that have dragged in over the last couple of weeks. And someone asked me when I first moved here, what was it like living in a park? This particular park, I know their question was a trailer park. That was the vibe of their question. But our particular park, which is Park Delta Bay RV and Tiny House Resort, used to be a KOA campground, and it's literally like living in a park because we have lots of trees and lots of dirt, and we drag it all in our houses. So I'm happy that the leaves are cleared and I won't have to sweep. This is really, I haven't swept since I got back from Christmas, so this is a day or two before I left. And this week, but only because my porch was filled with leaves before I left. So happy, happy, happy. Okay, so I finally got enough other things done that I can tackle this. So that box is things that came from under my bed upstairs. The bed upstairs used to have 18 inches of clearance. Now it only has 9. So I had to take half the stuff out, which was good because I culled it down quite a bit. And I'm left with this box and that box, or that basket full of things. Under Tim's chair, Tim Anderson gave me that chair, just in case you don't know. So, and he gave it to me, I think, so he'd have something to sit in when he visited. But anyway, under Tim's chair, that basket just has a blanket in it. And the basket under that, I was thinking it was more cluttered, but it's actually knitting, so it really can stay there. It's yarn, I should say. So this and this are the two things that I have to sort. I'm not 100% happy with having my printer here. It works great, but it looks awful. And in general, I've kind of let this area get a little cluttered. So I'm going to work on this and then this. And if I'm not too tired when I'm done with all that, work on some of the clutter. But I'm also going to make soup tonight, and I think it's 2 p.m., 2:30, something like that. So I have maybe 2 more hours of work in me, which is probably just enough to go through that, make decisions, get rid of things, figure out where to put anything I want to keep, and go through that. That is actually framed things. I think my law degree, my attorney's license, that sort of thing. I like to find room for them under the bed, but I don't know if that's possible. Give you a little peek under there. It's pretty full all the way to the other wall. But most of that in there is keepable. It could go in the back cupboard, but that's not completely weatherproof, so maybe not. So anyway, I don't know what all is in this, and I'm reasonably sure what's in that, but I don't know what to do with it. I'd like to put the blankets in there and get rid of that from under that chair, because I don't like it sticking out. So my goal is deal with everything in here so that I don't have a box there, deal with everything in here, put the blankets in that basket where they belong. that's my goal. Let's see how far I get in the next 2 hours, because I'm going to make soup. I always make soup on New Year's Day, and that's what I plan to do. But isn't the sitting room in general pretty cute? Oops, little fingertip there. It just needs that and that to be dealt with, and a little bit of decluttering. So we'll see how far I get in the next 2 hours. So these boxes are both empty. This is a really nice box or basket that I've had for a long time. This I've had for probably 10 years. And when it was a display shelf, it had these in it. These are shelves. I'm not really sure if I need these. I might, that needs to be cleaned out, but I might put them up with the craft supplies. I really don't want to, because I want to dispose of them or reuse them. What I have left is 3 books, a frame, and my old laptop, and then that basket. So I'm making progress, and I didn't really have any lunch, so I'm going to stop, eat a little something, and then figure out what to do with these things. Well, the notebooks that were in it are now up there in that cabinet, in the drawer of that cabinet, which was empty. So I can keep them. I will use them. So moving forward, have to deal with these. I think these will fit under my bed, which I do want to keep them. And then I'll just have this basket to do. And that's going to be more problematic because it is frame things that I want to keep but not display. And I would ordinarily just take everything out of the frames, but some of the frames are handmade. So hopefully I'll be able to figure out what to do with all that. But anyway, for now I'm going to eat something and revitalize myself. So I started to say earlier that I've never really liked the way I have these pull-out shelf organized with small baskets. And I've thought often of having drawers put in instead. The only reason I haven't done that is because I've also thought of getting a bigger refrigerator, a taller refrigerator. There's a model next up from this one that's the same width but taller. So I haven't really wanted to reconstruct this until I made a decision about that. But I have wanted a big drawer instead of these little nicky-nacky things. This wooden crate fits on there. I don't think it'll be too heavy. I've already got a lot of stuff that weighs down that drawer, that shelf. But I'm going to try it. I think it would be easier to find things if they were not like all crammed in these little baskets. I still would have to have baskets on the bottom drawer. Or they're not drawers, they're shelves. But I think this would be really nice to have some of the bigger things in, like these bottles, not crammed in like that, just in a row in there. So I'm going to do that and see if I like it. Okay, it's the end of day 1. I'm left with 2 shelves, some books, my old laptop, and I still have that basket under the chair. I will work on that tomorrow along with cleaning my car out if it's not raining. And I'll probably do something with this tonight, but that basket will have to wait till tomorrow. Obviously, I sleep upstairs, so I have to clear the stairs off. But I will figure that out. In the meantime, I'm going to take a shower and make some soup and then relax for the evening and pick up again tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to wrap up day 2 of house straightening, and eventually later I will upload all of the segments of this video process and try to make better sense of them. But here's where I've gotten to. It is 2 p.m., I think, on January 2nd, 2026. The blankets are out from under Tim's chair, and they are, in fact, in that basket. I haven't yet done any decluttering on the tables, so that will have to wait for another day because I have some other things to do. I want to clean my car out. I have a small little pile here. The right side is basically frames, and then there are some books on there that I want to keep. I have a bookcase in the bedroom. I'm going to put them on it. So that's what happened in the sitting room. My goal was to get rid of the box and all of its contents, which I did, and to get that box out from under Tim's chair, which I did, and to move the blankets to the basket, which I did, and to get everything out of that basket. And these are the things that are left from that basket, and I will take care of those later. I managed to use that wooden thing for shoes. This is less than optimal, but it works for now. If you follow me for very long, you've known that storage of shoes in this particular tiny house has been the bane of my existence, or a small bane in my existence. I had hoped that that wooden thing, the wooden slide thing, would fit under here. It would if that trim piece didn't extend beyond the space. So it's possible we could shave down that trim piece. And if that's the case, then I might do that. In the kitchen area, I had greater progress. I managed to straighten areas that I had not intended to straighten. I straightened this cabinet up here. I won't jump up there. And I straightened down here. This was pretty. I'm pretty proud of this, as I mentioned earlier. I really didn't anticipate that I'd be able to straighten this out, but I did by staying up late. So I used that box for solvents like sprays and WD-40 and light bulbs. And then, if you'll remember, there was a little green box in that box. And that's now back here with hardware and a small selection of tools, which I can much more easily access. Having that box in there tells me that drawers would be nice. And then I didn't even plan to organize this, but I did. Mostly I took stuff out of it. Let me turn the light on. Mostly I realized that there were a bunch of towels shoved in there for some reason. I took everything out. I organized my travel toiletries, and I put a little shelf in the bottom so that things weren't just sinking to the floor. That was really nice. And I don't remember what all I did, so you'll just have to watch the whole video or whatever makes the cut. Rehung some art, did some laundry. I worked about 12 hours yesterday, and I've worked about 5 hours today, and I'm going to clean my car out a little, but first I'm going to have another cup of coffee. There it is. And I'm going to take a shower and get dressed, because cleaning is hard work. I have to put away clean dishes and that sort of thing, but the floor is clean, the house is clean, and I'm feeling pretty good. So I hope you're feeling pretty good. Whatever you need to do to start your new year, I hope you get to do it. And thanks for spending way too many minutes of my tiny life with me. And I'll see you next time.